You're standing in the center circle of a stadium that holds 80,000 people, and all 80,000 of them hate you right now. You don't know that yet, not fully, not at minute 1, but in 93 minutes, you're going to make a decision that follows you for the rest of your life. You just don't know which decision yet. But first, we have to see how you got here. You're 34 years old. You've been refereeing since you were 19. Local leagues first, the kind where the only people watching are two dads arguing about offside, then regional, then national, then the call comes that every referee in the world waits for, and most never get. FIFA puts your name on a list, the World Cup list. You don't sleep that night. Your wife finds you sitting in the kitchen at 3 a.m. just holding your phone, the email still open on the screen. You don't tell your friends right away. You tell your father first. He coached you in a park with no nets when you were 7. He doesn't say congratulations. He says, now they'll know your name for the wrong reasons before the right ones. You don't understand what he means yet.
Level 1. You arrive at the tournament hotel 3 days before your first match. There are 35 other referees here. You eat breakfast in silence with men whose names you've only seen in match reports. Nobody talks about football. Everyone talks about positioning, angles, the new handball directive nobody fully agrees on. You realize something. You are not here to enjoy the World Cup. You are here to survive it. Level 2. The night before your first match, you watch the two teams' last 6 games. Every yellow card, every dive, every player who goes down easy, and every player who stays up through contact that should drop him. You build a profile of 22 strangers whose behavior you now know better than your own brothers. You fall asleep with the tactics board still glowing on your laptop. Level 3. Match day. You walk out of the tunnel and the noise hits you like weather, not sound. Weather. It has pressure. It pushes against your chest. You've refereed 400 matches in your career and you've never felt anything like this. Your earpiece connects you to the VAR room. 4 men in a dark booth 3 miles away who can see 18 camera angles you cannot. You don't know it yet, but those 4 men are about to become the most powerful people in the stadium, and none of them are wearing a uniform. Level 4. Minute 6. A tackle. Studs up. Contact above the ankle. You're 8 meters away. Perfect angle. And you blow the whistle before you've even finished thinking the word foul. Yellow card. The crowd on one side roars approval. The crowd on the other side screams that you're already bought, already corrupt, already deciding the outcome of a match that's 6 minutes old. You haven't decided anything. You've made one call. It doesn't matter. In their eyes, the story already has a villain, and the story picked you before you opened your mouth. Level 5. Minute 19. A through ball. A striker breaking clean, and you're sprinting at full speed trying to keep the angle because offside calls live and die on inches, on a single frame, on a studded boot that's 8 centimeters ahead of a defender's hip. You can't see it clearly. Nobody at match speed can see it clearly. That's not your job anymore. Your job is to let the ball go in, let the celebration happen, and wait. You wait 4 seconds with 80,000 people screaming, and one assistant in a dark room deciding whether the biggest moment of someone's tournament just got erased by a shoulder. Level 6. The check takes 90 seconds. 90 seconds doesn't sound long until you're standing in the center circle with your hand on your earpiece and an entire stadium staring at the back of your head, trying to read your posture like it's a verdict. The goal is disallowed, offside by 4 centimeters. The crowd's roar turns into something else entirely, something with no name, somewhere between a scream and a groan, 80,000 voices collapsing into one note of pure betrayal. You didn't make this call. The chip and the ball did. The camera grid did. You're just the man standing where they can see you when the news arrives. Level 7. Halftime. You walk down the tunnel and there's a security guard standing closer to you than he was standing this morning. You ask why. He doesn't answer directly. He just says, standard protocol for this fixture. You don't ask what standard protocol usually looks like for matches that aren't this one. You already know the answer is nothing like this. Level 8. Second half. Minute 58. A challenge in the box. Contact. Definitely contact. But is it enough? Is it inside the box? Did the attacker initiate it himself, going down early to manufacture exactly this moment? You have 0.6 of a second to decide between a penalty that could decide a World Cup quarterfinal and a non-call that could end a man's tournament dream on the other end of the pitch. You point to the spot. The home bench erupts in fury so total that the 4th official has to physically step between 2 assistant coaches. VAR confirms your call 30 seconds later. Confirmed doesn't mean forgiven. Nobody apologizes for the 60 seconds of hatred they sent your way while the review was still loading.
Level 9. Minute 73. A player goes down clutching his face. No replay shows contact. You know this. The 4th official knows this. The 80,000 people in the stadium do not know this because they are watching the player roll twice and grab his cheekbone like it's been shattered. You don't book him. You know exactly what he did, and you let it go because booking a man for simulation in the 73rd minute of a World Cup knockout match on a call this borderline is the kind of decision that gets dissected by 40 pundits and 11 million social media accounts for the next 6 days. You're not just officiating the match anymore. You're officiating the version of the match that exists in everyone's head, the one that hasn't happened yet but will be replayed, slowed down, zoomed in, captioned, and mocked starting the second the final whistle blows. Level 10. Minute 84. The score is tied. A defender pulls a shirt in the box, a small tug, the kind that happens 40 times a match and gets ignored 39 of them. This is the 40th. You see it. You don't call it. 6 seconds later, the same defender does it again, harder, more obvious. and the entire stadium has now seen what you saw the first time and didn't punish. You blow the whistle. Penalty. You know what you're admitting by calling it now. You're admitting you saw it the first time too. The broadcast replays both incidents side by side within 90 seconds. 40 million people watching at home now know exactly what you knew at minute 84 and what you chose not to do about it the first time. Level 11. The penalty is taken. It goes in. One team's World Cup ends in this exact second, on this exact field, because of a decision that took you less than a second to make and will take the losing country's media roughly 6 weeks to stop discussing. You don't watch the celebration. You're already jogging back to the center circle because the clock is still running and there's still stoppage time to manage, and nobody in that stadium cares that you are, in this moment, a human being whose hands are shaking slightly inside your gloves. Level 12. Full time. You blow the final whistle and the sound disappears into a noise so large it stops being noise and becomes something physical, something you feel in your sternum. Players from the losing team surround you, not violently, worse than violently, quietly. One captain just stands 2 feet from your face for 4 full seconds and says nothing at all, which somehow says more than anything he could have shouted. You walk off the pitch with 2 security guards in front of you and 2 behind you, an escort you didn't have walking in. Level 13. The tunnel. Your phone has 340 unread messages before you've even reached the dressing room. Death threats are not new to you. They arrived after your 3rd World Cup match, 4 years ago, in a different country, after a different penalty. You learned the protocol then. Screenshot. Forward to security. Delete. Don't read past the first line. You've gotten faster at this over the years, the way a surgeon gets faster at closing an incision, which is its own quiet horror. That competence here means how efficiently you can process people wanting you dead. You sit in the dressing room alone. Your assessor will grade this match on a scale you've never fully understood, a number that decides whether you refereed the next round or fly home tomorrow. You don't know the number yet. You won't know it for 6 hours. You sit with your boots still on, the studs leaving small marks in the tile floor, and you think about your father standing in a park with no nets, telling a 7-year-old that someday they'll know his name for the wrong reasons before the right ones. He was right. Tonight, 40 million people learned your name. Almost none of them will remember it for the call you got right in the 19th minute. They'll remember it for the 4 centimeters, the 6/10 of a second, the shirt pull you let go once and punished twice. You did your job. You did it correctly, by every metric that matters to the people who employ you.
It will not matter to the people who watched you do it. Somewhere right now, in a stadium in another country, on another continent, a different referee is walking out of a different tunnel, into a different wall of noise, carrying the same earpiece, the same 6/10 of a second, the same father's warning he hasn't understood yet either. He has no idea what's coming, but the whistle is already in his hand, and the clock is already running, and somewhere in the next 90 minutes, it will find him too.